Iconetics, a Swiss-based company, and my colleague here.
Yeah, my name is Stefan Roth. I'm also calling data center MVP, and yeah, I work also for Iconetics. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. So we'll first talk about what is OMS. Maybe who of you has heard about OMS? Okay, sure, 2 of you. Okay. We'll go a little bit into detail about log search topics and how you can leverage OMS to manage your Citrix and VMware environments. So first of all, OMS is a cloud-based solution. It is designed to help you manage your on-premise environments as well as your cloud environments. And it's not only for Microsoft cloud environments or Microsoft on-premise workloads. You can use OMS also to manage and monitor your AWS workloads, for example, and of course also your Linux workloads. That's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty new thing now that Microsoft shifts or also includes Linux operating systems in their management solutions. So what are the OMS pillars? We have operational insights and analytics, or insights and analytics. It was called operational insights before they renamed it or rebranded it to Operations Management Suite in 2015, I think it was. That's basically the log analytics part, part of OMS. And we have automation and control. That's basically Azure automation. You can automate and remediate things with Azure automation by using PowerShell, for example. We have security and compliance. That's the part where security logs, for example, are analyzed in OMS. Traffic is analyzed, for example, if your clients or your servers are communicating to malware sites, for example, or malicious servers. We have protection and recovery. That's basically Azure backup as well as Azure site recovery. So OMS is not only about log analytics, there's much more. All these pillars are very important to OMS, and it's really about the management of your data centers and your servers. So how does the data get into OMS? There are various possibilities how you can get your data up to OMS, up to the cloud. There is a dedicated OMS agent available, which is available for Windows operating system as well as for Linux operating systems. And it is available for various Linux operating systems. You can even deploy it on AWS Linux images, for example. This agent reports data up through HTTPS channels to your OMS workspace. You can also use SCOM, the System Center Operations Manager, to upload data into OMS. And of course, it's not really an issue if your agents or your servers are on-premise or in the cloud somewhere. They can report data from a VM which is running in AWS or in a VM which is running in Azure. No problem.
What capabilities does the agent have? What kind of data does it collect? Are you going to talk about that later, maybe?
You will see it when we talk about the log analytics type of data it's collecting.
Stefan will cover it afterwards a bit. Basically, it can bring up pretty much any data, from JSON to custom log files to performance data. There are many possibilities, but we'll go into a bit.
I just wait.
Sure.
Okay.
And another important part of OMS are OMS solutions. these are like, you can maybe imagine like apps. I think Helga told me before, Splunk knows something pretty similar, where you can deploy apps or OMS solutions to deliver kind of dashboard experience, for example, for customers. And the OMS solutions are also delivering enhanced capabilities, for example, to assess your workloads. There are solutions to assess your SQL environments, to your Active Directory environments, for example. And these solutions can also leverage your existing System Center environments like Operations Manager and Virtual Machine Manager, for example, for capacity planning. There's a capacity planning solution which leverages the possibilities you have with SCOM and VMM to plan your capacities.
And third-party apps, the ability as a third-party to develop apps is going to be available in the future?
At the moment, there are only Microsoft solutions available, but there are third parties already developing solutions. So there will be probably in the next half year or in the next year, there will be solutions somewhere from partners, or it will be possible for partners to provide the solutions also for OMS. I'm not sure, or it's not really, we can't tell if there will be a marketplace or something else, or how this is going to work by now, but possibility should be.
But it's one big thing now going on. Right now it's the time for partners to jump on this train, to develop or get some information from Microsoft to how do I develop some solutions for agents or whatever to display the thing. It's right now it's going on. It started.
That's just an example of a OMS dashboard, and it pretty much shows you all the available solutions. There are even more. It goes from all these assessment solutions, like for Active Directory and SQL, for example, to update management solutions, which show you which servers are up to date or which need security updates, for example. We have network performance solutions. We have change tracking solutions, also very important. And you will see this dashboard in action afterwards when Stefan will show you the demo. But it should give you kind of an overview on how many solutions are right now already into OMS, and there will be more in the coming month or in the coming years. So I'll hand over. I'll skip the demo here.
Okay, we skipped because of time issue. So, because imagine you have these solutions and they pull data from any kind of system, Linux, Windows, some Azure system and so on, and you shoot this data up to into Azure, to some repository, and you have this huge big data pot somewhere, and now you need some kind of search or some kind of Googling this data and maybe some data searching, aggregation kind of thing to analyze your data and make sense out of it. Or maybe you want to kind of display it in a nice dashboardy way. So therefore Microsoft invented the log search. It's kind of a PowerShell lookalike kind of syntax, because you have some functions in there, average, count or whatever, and you have some type symbols in there, some where clauses, and so it looks kind of PowerShell. It was easy to learn, but it's now increasing as more function you get, the more complicated it gets, the syntax. It's not that easy anymore. All the solutions you have seen in the screenshot before are based on the log search. So you display it, and in the background there is always a log search going on based on the data, the agents, or maybe your custom solution is collecting. Then you have many filter options and operations, as I said before. You have some aggregate functions in there to build some fancy graphs. These queries you're building in log search, you can save it and reuse it later on. And also you can build groups based on these queries. You even can alert based on these queries. So you can write a query if the output is 5 computers and you want to have maybe a threshold when someone adds another computer. If it's 6, then you want to get informed, then you can configure an alert. So what I would like to do, show you how it looks the easiest way. So you have this big data pot, and then you type star and you get all this data. And you have seen the solutions, and all these solutions, they have a kind of a type. So you have performance data, it's type perf, or you have event type data, type is event, or you have security events, it's type equals security event. And from there you can start, then you can, for example, measure count, then you can group this data, or you can select top 3, or you can use some average, or you can count the data there is and display it in nice charts. You will see it in the demo. I created the basic syntax cheat sheet. The URL is down below. You probably cannot read it, but you can then download the slides. So you can understand what the syntax look like. So you have a source, and then you concatenate, or you use a boolean, or to filter the fields, and then you basically use as next step the pipe to sort, aggregate, filter a bit more the data. I will show it in the demo. So I will use now the internet connection. We'll see if it works. The current connection. I just refresh to see how the connection is. Well, not that fast, so I will switch to my connection to make it faster. Okay, so I'm here logged in my workspace. What you basically need is a organizational account or Microsoft ID. Then you sign up, and then you can get your workspace. In your workspace, you have here a log search button. You go in there. And so then basically a search window opens, and then as I said before, you type star, and then you get all the data back which you have in OMS saved. Okay. Then here on the left side you get all the types of data you have. So there is from IIS logs to performance logs to any other data, network monitoring, event. You have some heartbeat this is generated by the agents. Here are the performance data, meaning the real performance counters you're getting out of Windows. So, for example, I would like to know some deeper details about the performance data. So I could select here performance data. It will add here in my search window type equals perf, and will show me then all the data about performance. It looks like this here. So for example, you have here SQL Server, and you have disk transfer per second. It's counter name, the value is equals 0 now, and counter path like this. Now let's assume I'm interested in, here I have all the counters. You can also configure custom performance counters in current disk queue length. That's maybe important for some Citrix servers. So it will add, there is an add in here, performance and counter equals current disk queue length. So get all the computers which have data about this performance counter. Let's say I want to know what is for my setup server. I have here a setup server. Okay. I can also drill down or can write it into the search query, and we'll get stripped down. Now I have plain data out here. That's just plain data. Those are not objects or anything else. It's just the data type. I have the capability here in the log search. You see metrics. It's kind of hard. You can select the metrics here, and then you get all the objects on that server which have the current disk queue length. But I can see now that there is the disk drive fee, which seems to be some data available. I see it here in the graph. I select this one. And as you can see, the query gets longer and longer up here. I have, it's a bit small, so I'll zoom in. There is a plus sign. What I can do is expand this data, so I get a nice graph here. It's not that nice yet, but at least I get some idea what it's all about. Next, I can, what I'm doing now is I'm squeezing the time window. So I don't have any data before and behind, so there is no time. Or I can even go and drill in a bit more. So again, I press the plus sign and then it will be expanded. So that's an easy way how you can drill down from a huge pot of data down to your computer. What is the performance counter you're interested in? What you even can do, I built a bit more complex query. I saved it here, which uses two different aggregations to calculate the average of memory within a computer group. So let's have a closer look at it. So I used type perf, and to counter available megabytes or object name processor and counter processor processor time per computer. And then it goes here to the next one. So, and then I group it and calculate the average value of each of those performance counter, show the average and the maximum counter, and within the past 10 minutes. So, and then you also get this shiny graph here. Below you see you see the objects, and then you can select them, show them, or even don't show them. So I just selected the storefront processor time, so I get this graph here. You can see, okay. So that's just a brief way how you can build these queries. So as I said before, these queries are used for solutions. What you can do now, you can go and build a kind of a custom solution. What I did, I used View Designer, what you have in all MS, and then first you can build a tile. That's this one here. It's not that pretty, but it shows you active computers and not responsive computers. That's also a query behind it. Now I'm opening View Designer to display all this data. And what I try to do, I'm not a Citrix guy, but from what I know, it could be interesting, some information. So I used the designer, for example, here to display the different errors. The critical errors basically are 8 different critical errors. There are 6 different warning events, and below I can set some thresholds. If there are more than so many critical errors on the SQL server or Citrix server or whatever, or Exchange server, then it shows red, or there's a yellow for warning, or green. What I also can easily do are those performance graphs here. On the side is just a check mark, and then it will show the value, and some nice graphs on the side. Up here, sometimes you want to show some, as in this example, the average value of processor time, for example, and so on. You can add these views up the way you would want to. What I want to do now are show you how you can build this. I just have a simple query. I have the security events, and what I'm interested in the accounts which have failed logons. Okay, so I go in this view designer. I have here different options. What I like to use are the donuts. It's pretty, this circle here. I can name it this view kind of failed logons. You probably don't see it, but it's on top of the view here. It will appear. And then I can just copy and paste the query like this. What I do, I configure the donut here. I just pasted the query. There is no match behind. And I also use the same query for the list down here. So what I did, I configured up here the donut with the same query, and here down the list. I will press apply and the query will be executed. So, and my view is already configured. I could change the colors, I could change the naming, I could change everything, but that's not the point here. So I will save it. Okay, and already here is a nice little view. As you have seen before on the side, there are many other options to add, and here then I can click on that view and it will show me the data here, like this. And then again I can select on one entry and drill down one more. So as you can see, everything is based on log search. You have an easy way to visualize this data, and it's growing and growing and growing. Okay, now Stefan will show you a pre-built solution from Microsoft for VMware.
Question?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you
have time for questions?
Can you export the view?
Yes.
So you can import it and everybody can use it.
That's the plan.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Your turn.
My turn.
Is OMS free if you have...
There's a free tier available, yeah, it's limited to 500 megabytes per day upload, and retention 7 days.
7 days retention time.
And you can just sign up, log in, try it out.
We'll publish the URLs just at the end of the session, so
Okay.
make note. So Microsoft did pretty much the same as Stefan did now for Citrix, they did for VMware. They created a solution also based on logs they get from VMware ES6 hosts, and they built a nice dashboard out from it. So since you are unable to install your OMS agents on the ES6 hosts, they leveraged syslog forwarding to forward all the syslogs from ES6 hosts to a syslog server. This can be a Linux VM, for example, which just collects all the syslogs from your ES6 hosts. But it can be a Windows server as well. And this VM then forwards all the syslogs to OMS. And OMS, the solution, the VMware solution in OMS, makes use of these syslog files or events to, for example, display VM activities, events from your ESXi hosts, and failures, status of your disks, and so on. So what you can basically do with this solution is, you will see it in a demo. I'll do a small demo. Is you can see activities which take place on your VMware hosts. For example, VM creation and VM deletion. You can see failures. You can see error events which appear on your hosts, and so on. So let's check if it works. Okay, seems to be a little bit slow, but should make it. As you can see right here, we have this VMware monitoring solution tab, which already gives us kind of an overview how many failures, for example, we had in our VMware environment. So I'm actually not a VMware guide, so if you see maybe things that are not configured as they should, just show it out. And that's basically the solution which you have. Like with the solution from Stefan, you have all these overview tiles where you can see graphs and pie charts and all this to get an overview of what's happening in your environment. But you can also drill down and go to the log analytics part of OMS. If you click, for example, on one of these list icons, that works. And you also have some recommended searches which are coming right from Microsoft, where you can, for example, get a daily list of all created VMs by user, your host, and that's going to drill down in the log analytics part, and you will have the same view as Stefan just showed you, with all the events which are coming from your VMware hosts. That's basically it for the demo. If you're interested in the VMware solution or also in the Citrix solution, you can take it offline and show you a little bit more in OMS. And I think we'll finish up with the presentation.
Yes. Okay. So just
quick comment on that. Basically, the VMware preview just saw us our first version of monitoring data for VMware, and we're actively developing this thing to try it out and have some feedback. Please give it directly in the application or come see and preview, because we are really engaged in bringing this further. So please give us a feedback.
okay.
Microsoft is really interested in feedbacks about OMS solutions. There are many OMS solutions in preview state at the moment, and there are really coming more and more solutions on pretty much on a weekly or monthly basis. So yeah, if you're interested, try it out and give feedback.
So So you need to understand there are maybe different parts. So you have the visualization part. You have the data pod, and you have somewhere the data which you need to shoot up. And Helge asked, yeah, what can you insert kind of data? You can basically add any data. You have agents from Microsoft which are executing, for example, some MPs they are downloading from also management packs from Microsoft, or on the Linux side it's more on the syslog side, or some other fluent D stuff that's collecting data and shooting up to OMS. So there is also a REST API. You can write a PowerShell script, do some fancy stuff on your local computer and send it just to OMS. It's an open platform, and it's getting more and more open. So you can use it for analyzing then this data. So there is probably only the sky is the limit. So there is no, we talked about shortly or briefly before about the Uber agent. Maybe you reconfigure this one to use OMS for further analysis, or yeah, it's up to you. It's growing. It's a very young product. You cannot compare it to Splunk or anything, but at this moment, but probably in the future, it will also be some sort of Splunk competitor, and therefore we want to wrap it up. It's a cloud service based on cloud, SaaS-based application. With this log search query, I just showed you briefly. There's much more power in it than I showed you before. You can use this solution on-premise, cloud, hybrid cloud, whatever. Just install agent or have some sort of mechanic to send the data to OMS. The onboarding is incredibly fast. So you just need an account, sign up for a workspace. It's free. So you have a free tier there. You can try it out. You can just install the solutions. They are like adding management packs in Scope. Yeah, you have the pre-built solution, and you can use it basically for anything. Yeah. Do you like it, or has anyone used it before? Or?
No, it's cool. It looks cool.
It's going to be very cool. It's already cool. I mean, it started out with System Center Advisor. It was just an assessment tool back then, a few years ago. Then it became operational insights. Basically, then they developed the log search for that platform, and then they renamed it to OS, Operations Management Suite, because they want to manage all the workloads from that cloud platform. Or it's an idea. And yeah.
What I really like is this hybrid approach. I think you can really bring data in from everywhere. You have a Linux agent, and this one is really good. Actually, source code of this Linux agent is published on GitHub. It's really an open source project, which everyone can contribute to it. And I think that's really kind of a cool thing, that you have this cloud solution where you can manage your environments, if it's Linux or if it's Windows.
Yeah, and that was just the basics now we showed you. The very near future, it's already available. It's kind of to this agent which you have for this MMA, this Microsoft monitoring engine, which you need to install to send the data. You add an add-on, and it's the add-on for BlueStripe. They integrated it into OMS. So it shows you on the network level the dependencies from each application. So you have a domain controller, it's talking to that Citrix, it's talking to that SQL server, and then you see on the TCP-based communication from which service or process is talking to which computer. So imagine you have you cumulate this data, hard words, but or you aggregate this data to the application. So you can make drill downs. You select the server. This application is there running. Are there any update failures? Are there any errors? Are there any odd things? And or any security issues? Because you have all this information available in OMS. You just need to drill down. So you have this dependency application and all related events you have already in OMS collected. And then you have the big picture. There is already a network performance monitoring solution available, which checks your network. So you have this subnet and this subnet and this subnet, and then you see, oh, okay, this application talks to this server in this subnet and this subnet. Ah, this subnet is not available, and then you will see there a red line, and so on. So that's why I said the sky is the limit. And they are heavily investing in this solution. And probably it's going to be that thing at Microsoft. Has anyone known about or heard about BlueStripe before? Okay. And that's that Microsoft bought BlueStripe and integrated it into OMS. That's near future. So there are some links how you can try. Stefan showed you just the VMware solution. That's within the Operations Management Suite Experience Center. It's a platform where you just can sign up for, and then get all, you have all pre-populated solutions there.
It's basically a Microsoft environment where you can try out all the solutions. Of course, you are limited you cannot configure all these solutions, but you can get a first look at it. You can see what solutions exist, what can they do, and that's a pretty cool platform also if you want to have a demo or something.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so thank you a lot. If you have any questions, we try to answer them. Come up or we can show you the Operations Management Experience Center. If you want to see some more solutions. There are maybe about 30 solutions I counted available now. So it's just you cannot fit it into 35 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.